countdown to make history.
Merry Christmas, everyone! Happy November 1st!
Hello to all our listeners out there.
And hello to all our viewers as well. We love you too. We love audio and visual. Exactly. Well, welcome to our podcast. Still tentatively unnamed. But I'm Cas. Nice to meet you.
And I'm Cat. Nice to meet you.
And we're going to be talking about music from all around the world, just like us, international global citizens. So Kat, why don't you tell our viewers how we met?
Cas and I were both in Granada in España. Shout out to mis españoles who are out there.
We love you.
And
Osamo.
Just that's so good. And we had, a little orientation meeting, and I went all by my lonesome and happened to sit next to a group of wonderful people, one of which was Caspian. And I needed to make friends, so I started following them. Then Cas asked the magic question. He said, "So, what music have you been listening to recently?" And I said, "Well, I've been listening to this artist called Chapel Roan. This is
October
Coachella performance.
Yeah, October 2023.
Mm-hmm. I've got my little poster from her Naked in America tour. So, yeah.
If you know, you know.
And Cas was like, "Oh my gosh, me too." And the rest is
true.
history.
And do you remember the other artist?
present.
The other artist we
Renee
talked about?
Rapp, right?
Yes. It was like
And then
30
it was
seconds
Bjork.
in. Yeah. I was like, well, my turn. Been listening to a lot of Bjork,
You're
which is
like,
so
oh.
crazy. Because now, a year later, Chaperone is like household name.
Mm-hmm.
Renee Rapp, we're still rooting for you, girl. we want you to get that top 5 single too, but not yet. But we love Miss
It'll
Renee.
happen.
Maybe we'll talk about her
we
too.
love her.
So should we talk about
Yeah.
our hopes and dreams for this podcast?
Yeah, so I guess continuing the how we met story also, Cas and I, over the following 8 months that we were living abroad in Granada, we spent a lot of time listening to music, a lot of time talking about music, texting about music on WhatsApp. And yeah, so we just really, it's just something we love to talk about, and we subject the people around us to often. And
They love it.
yeah. And so, because they obviously love it so much, we thought that
The world needs to hear these
strangers.
thoughts.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's true. I think we both really love music. I hate to like put it on a scale, but maybe more intensely than others. Like we love to like read about music and really get into it. And we have very similar tastes in music. Like the Venn diagram is mostly overlapping, but like the edges on the either side are super interesting because we kind of
Totally.
have different gravitations. And so I think that's going to make for a really interesting podcast too, because we have a lot of artists we love in common. But we're also maybe going to take turns like teaching our co-host about someone maybe we're more into than they are. And take all of our beautiful watchers and listeners along with us.
Yeah.
As Beyonce said, sometimes what you really need is someone you really trust to put you onto some real good shit. And that's exactly what this is. So please subscribe
You can trust
or
us.
whatever. You will come to know we are so trustworthy and smart and wise. So a definition I wanted to share with you all, because learning things is a fundamental part of this podcast. I wanted to share with everyone the definition of poptimism, because maybe you've never heard this term before. It's like pop and optimism in one word, if you couldn't tell. And what this very smart man named Sine said was, the rockist represents traditional values of authenticity, while the poptimist is progressive, inclusive, and sees through the myths of authenticity. The rockist is nostalgic, the old fart who says they don't make good music anymore, while the poptimist looks forward and values the new. I really love this definition because I think it speaks a lot to how we think about new music. Like, I'm just so excited that new things are happening, and even like looking back 20, 30 years, like I like how genres changed, and like obviously like technology. Oh my God, I sound so old saying that. But what I'm trying to say is like we really love new music, and we're really trying to give pop music the same reverence and respect that other older genres get.
Yeah, absolutely. I think,
So get ready.
Cas is probably number one poptimist that I know.
In the world, yeah.
In the world. Not to put it on a scale.
For sure.
But you are number
No, I really do. And I don't know, I think what's cool, what I really love about that quote is the idea of like authenticity. And I think what's so cool about like the pop music right now that I'm really loving is it kind of like leans into ideas. Like if you think about Taylor Swift or Chappell Roan or Charlie XCX, even Sabrina Carpenter, like they play so much with the idea of their persona. And I think so much of popular music right now is becoming like the story tied into the song. Like, oh, she wrote this song about this person, or this is about when that happened. And we love to latch on to those things. And I think part of poptimism is like recognizing that artists are intentionally playing with their persona and not always being like completely honest, and that's totally okay. Like I think you can actually make better art when you're not tied to only using your own authentic experiences. Yeah.
We're so exposed to so much of these artists' lives that like a really successful artist is going to be able to make art that is subjective even with all this information that we have about their lives, and that's because, like you said, the story that they're telling is what like needs to remain authentic
Right.
in their work.
That would be a great episode. Someone write that down.
Wow.
Talking about authenticity of pop music, because it is something I think about a lot. Like,
no, it's so true.
especially a Taylor Swift song, like you expect that to be like her diary entry. Like there's clues that you can figure out who she's talking about, you know, and then she's so famous that you can go back to any time in her life and like know literally where she went and who she was with. And so I think like playing with that, like it just gives you so much like material to kind of like fuck with people, you know, in a really interesting way, in like a kind but it's not malicious. Like often people assume lying is like there's something like bad, but I think the real bad thing is how we feel entitled to this information about people. And something I think about a lot is like, imagine if like Taylor Swift put out an album like not under her own name. Like obviously it wouldn't get the same attention because like Taylor Swift's anything she puts on her Spotify is going to get 1 million streams in a day or whatever, way more than that. But like part of an artist is their lore, you know, and like everything in their last album and their first album and the singles they put out and how long of a break they've taken between their last project. And I feel like that's a lot of burden for some artists, like Rihanna or whatever. But it also gives you all this stuff to play with. And I feel like Taylor Swift is one of the artists who really plays with like her past, not just her music, but her life in such an interesting, subversive, toying way.
Yes, definitely. And I think what you said about us, or not us, of course, but other people feeling entitled to the information about an artist's life and just wanting to know and wanting like more and more from every artist probably poses a lot of challenges in the creative process. All of everything,
Right.
like they're subject to so much scrutiny.
Remember at the very end of Hit Me Hard and Soft, she's like, so when can I hear the next one? And I think about that so much because, like, we're so greedy for art. And these poor artists are like, well, not Billie Eilish, but lots of artists are like they're not even making music most days. They're just, like, on TikTok and, like, going to radio shows and podcasts and whatever.
We just want more content.
Right? And the tours, segue. The tours are also so much and demanding for artists. And then every time I listen to a interview with the artist talking about when they wrote this album, they're like, oh yeah, like I was on tour for my last album, writing this album. It's like, oh my God.
It's crazy.
Pull a chaperone and just take a break, girl. We support you. But speaking of touring and concerts, have you been to any good concerts recently, Catalina?
Yeah, I actually have been. So most recently, I went to the Declan McKenna What Happened to the
No
Beach
way.
tour. Yeah, I'm wearing the shirt right here.
For all our watchers.
Look how cool it is. Yeah,
It is
for
so
the
cute.
watchers. If you're just listening, tune into the watching.
Yeah.
And no, that was really amazing. Besides the man at the theater that didn't want to let me in with my camera, I still have
Hater.
beef with you, Will, or no, his name wasn't Will. It was, wish I could name drop. It was something. Rich, no, I don't remember. Anyways, whoever you are, you know what you did.
You
'cause I
know.
know you're listening too.
You know, yeah. You know who you are.
But yeah, no, the concert was amazing. I think Declan McKenna, when we were talking about that Venn diagram earlier, Declan McKenna is definitely one of those artists that is kind of more on the just me side. So that was really exciting for me. I think he's an artist that's really cool to see on stage because he has such like an intense relationship with his own music and his own art. It's just clear when he does his like guitar solos or like his jumping around the stage, that he just really believes in what he's putting out there. And you can see that on stage and it's like very electric. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I like seeing him in concert so much. I also love how political he is with his music. And he usually, towards the end of his set list, is the song British Bombs. And I like that he puts that at the end because he's like kind of like, this is what I want you to take away from this show. So, yeah, love
he's
love
so
you,
cool.
Declan, if you're listening.
He too, he's a listener, I know. He texted me right before.
Yeah, he's so excited for
Yeah. Because he's what, like 25? 26?
around that, yeah.
Like
I
he's
think he was like 16 when he put out Brazil, which is crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
Like he is our peer. Like we are, I'm not going to say equals, but like we're right there. You know, like
In terms
we
of
occupy
age,
a similar space.
we are approximately equal.
No, literally, we're like basically the same. But no, he's really so cool.
He's awesome.
And yeah, he's a bit like rocky for me just because that's not my favorite sound, but I think he's so talented, and I too love the videos I've seen of him on stage. Like he's just so fun, and I think lots of performers, like it's so interesting. There's like kind of like in my mind two types of performers. Like there's people who are studio artists and make great recordings, which is a talent and a skill and amazing, and thank you for those amazing recordings. And there are artists who are better live, like just their energy and like even like sometimes their voice, like you just can't capture how amazing they are. Like you can't capture being in the same room as them on a recording. And and I've never been in the same room as him, but that's the vibes I get from his like videos of his concerts. Like it just looks so fun, and like his energy is insane. We almost, well, kind of. We talked about seeing him in Scotland in March.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But we did
For
not.
the same tour.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy that
We went
he's
to
still touring.
Edinburgh instead. Sorry, Glasgow. The other thing I was thinking about when you were talking about performing is when we saw Mitski and we were talking about how her like choreography and like presence on stage extends her music. It's not just like a dance to the music or like a visual representation. It just like adds meaning. And I think Declan McKenna is definitely another version. It's totally different. Like he doesn't have choreography the way that she does, but like it totally extends what you're listening to.
Yeah.
Just watching him.
That's such a great way of putting it. Oh my god, when we saw Mitski, that was like the craziest thing ever. We were at Primavera Sounds this past July, and
In
it was
Barcelona.
Saturday. Barcelona, and it was Saturday.
Say something in Catalan. Say something in Catalan.
Oh no, bon dia, meus amics. I love you. We love Catalan on this podcast. There's a after we record every time, I'm gonna re-record it. I'm gonna dub our episodes in just Catalan every time. But it's gonna be Mallorquin, so hopefully, hopefully you Barcelonans know you're Mallorquin.
They're gonna hate that.
We're gonna get canceled so fast. I'm so sorry, Barcelona.
Never allowed back.
Guitarica de la Fuente, we love you. Okay,
Yes,
we ride or die for you. Anyways, it was Saturday at Barcelona, a Primavera Sound, and it rained. Like it rained. It wasn't like a soft little drizzle, and we were wet. And then these very kind ladies gave us trash bags because not a poncho in the whole city of Barcelona, not one poncho. So we literally had like trash bags and like
Shout out Allison if you're listening.
Yes,
Allison got
she
us
better.
these trash bags.
yeah, she was a queen. And so we like ripped little holes for our faces in the trash bags. And Mitski slayed in the rain, in the lightning, in the wind, in the thunder. But she didn't do heat lightning, and it was lightninging. It was relampagueando, and there was no heat lightning. Like it was pain. But no, like if you haven't seen Mitski perform live, you need to watch videos. And I'm not sure she used to do this. Like I've seen older videos of her performing, like pre-pandemic, and I don't think she always was so choreo queen. Maybe she pulled a Florence and the Machine and like took 2 years off to like study modern dance. I really hope she did that because she's like incredible, and like she was wearing basically like what a jazz dancer would wear like to an audition, like jazz shoes, black tights, like simple black shirt. Oh my gosh, she was so.
It was like a lot of silhouettes and like
and like
in the
pantomime
shape she was making. Yeah.
Oh, she's so cool.
She was
Love
awesome. She also
Mitski.
spoke in Catalan. She was the only
Oh
artist
my
I
god, she
saw
did.
that
She
said
was the
something in
only one.
Catalan.
She was so cool. Yeah. So have there been any other concerts you've seen in the past month or
Yeah.
so?
In the past month or so, I also attended the Sweat Tour. And I'll pass it to you, 365 Party Girl.
What? Can you see my brat bag? Oh, there she is. The Sweat
Yeah.
Tour. Yeah, we
And
were
your shirt.
both so lucky. Yeah, we got
Did you
to
get that?
see.
Was that part of the official merch, or did you
Yeah.
get it separately?
This was $40. I really like that girl. Like, so I went to the Sweat Tour here in Los Angeles, and I was there like 2 hours before they were going on, because I needed to see Shy Girl. Can we talk about Shy Girl for just a second? Did you see her at your show?
No, because we got our tickets literally like an hour before Troy and Charlie came on.
Okay, I thought
But
you were gonna say
she was
that.
on stage briefly with
Yeah.
Charlie. But yeah, no, I didn't see
Okay.
her, unfortunately.
God, she is so talented. Her music is just unreal. Like it should be like, why don't I hear Shy Girl Club Shy Girl song every time I'm at the club. Like, it makes me so mad. And it was interesting because I was like in the seats, like kind of like right in the center in the back. And so lots of people weren't even there. But the people who were there didn't know her, but were like living. Maybe they were just living because I was having such a good time. But like I was going crazy. And like at the beginning, everyone was sitting, you know, they're like, oh, I don't know this girl. But then everyone was going crazy because her songs are so good. And she was so fun. Like, I had only ever seen her as like just DJing. And so obviously I like her songs, whatever. But she was just having so much fun, and her little dancers and like her visuals were crazy. Like, and like perfect opener for the Sweat Tour. We are very lucky, Kat and I, that we got to see both Troy and Charlie separately, also at Primavera Sound in June. So it was cool to kind of see them at like the beginning and the end of the summer, particularly for Charlie because
that was a
we
week
saw
before
her.
Brat was released.
So obviously, like her career has really changed a lot in the last 4 months, and so that was so good. But oh my God,
And
when
Cass
there's this
is like an
tour
OG Charlie girl and OG Troy.
and Troy.
Girl.
Oh my God, I was just at my middle school
this was like
the other day.
a huge deal for Cass.
This was my Super Bowl, for real. I was just at my middle school, and I like walked by the table I used to sit at lunch every day, and I was thinking about how all we would talk about was like O2L, Troye Sivan, like the fucking British YouTubers. Like, that was my life. So I'm just so proud of them, really, like that they're selling out arenas, like, but also critique. The girls need to learn all the words to the Troy songs because
I was
knew
just
the
about
Charlie
to say
songs,
that.
but they knew
my gosh.
one of my girls. They knew one of your girls. They knew Rush. They knew
one of my girls. They knew one of your.
They knew
girls.
me. They knew Charlie, but no. I was like, y'all need to study up. They knew like the
real.
chorus to Got Me Started. I was like, come on, like
I was a little shocked at how much backlash. Not backlash, that's dramatic, but like a lot of people were not showing up prepared for both. Like, people were a little bit confused about why Troy was there, and I'm like, should we go back to 1999? Like,
when Troy was 4 and Charlie was 7.
Like, they've been making music together for so long, and and I feel like they're so complementary in so many ways. They're both pop stars that have this kind of like Charlie has her bad girl attitude. Troy has this very like
gay, bad gay attitude. Sorry, what were you saying? What's his niche?
I was gonna talk about how he's not afraid to be like very sexual in his music and like even his performances. Like, they both have these we are not doing things like everyone else is doing kind of personas, and like not afraid to be who I have felt like I am for a long time. And Troy's music is so fun.
That's so
Something
good.
to Give Each Other, perfect. 10 out of 10.
Perfect album.
So
I think
good.
Yeah. His like editing, I think, is really underrated. Like, Something to Give Each Other is 10 songs, no deluxe version coming, period. And like, as someone who just wants a billion Troye Sivan songs on Spotify, like, I really love that he is like so picky. And I think I'm gonna do an episode about his In a Dream EP because just like every fucking project he has is so good. And like, he needs to be on the radio more. He's just such a talented musician, and he's been like making great pop music since like fucking what was that song? My Happy Little Pill. Like, that EP slays really too. Good. Like, go listen to all 5 songs. Like, they are good songs.
We were bumping Something to Give Each Other.
Oh my God,
all
were we?
the time in España. So I just loved. It was like Something to Give Each Other year followed by Brat Summer. Like,
no, literally, like an essential part for our watchers and listeners to understand of our lore is our like go-to activity was like go to the park and listen to music, obviously. The last year of my life was soundtracked by Something to Give Each Other, and it came out October like 13th or something, right as our lives were coming together. My hands are intertwined for our listeners. But yeah, Something to Give Each Other is
Yeah.
perfect pop album.
Yep.
Mwah.
So
Thank you,
for those
Troy.
of you who maybe didn't appreciate Troy when you saw him on the Sweat Tour,
Yeah, for those of you who didn't know the
think
words,
about it.
shame on you, okay? Study up. Oh my gosh, and did you get any special guests at the Sweat Tour?
No, I don't think so. But Charlie did wear a Bears jersey during the last number, so that was fun for the
Which sport is that?
Chicago football team.
American football
Yeah,
is the Bears. I know the Bulls. That is basketball.
That's basketball. Good
Yes.
job. Yeah.
100 points for me. Well, at my Sweat Tour here in the beautiful city of Los Angeles, I was there night one, which was Tuesday, October 15th. Greatest night of my life. We got Kesha, and they did the Spring Breakers remix, and then they did TikTok. And then we got Tate McRae, and the 14-year-olds went crazy. And they did You, Troy and Tate have that song You, which is really good. And then she left. And I really wanted Greedy. I really wanted 10,
Wait, yeah, you
30,
like Tate
5.
McRae also.
I like Tate McRae as a dancer. Like,
Yeah,
I
you're
like
an
So You
OG
Think You Can
Tate
Dance
McRae fan.
Kids. She got third place. I called in for you, Tate. I called. And she got third place. She was leaps and bounds. Whoever that poor boy is, you're also a great dancer, but you were already famous. You didn't need to go on So You Think You Can Dance Kids. Okay, this is turning into me coming out as a Tate McRae fan. But the last thing I'll say about her
Speak
is
your
I was
truth.
listening to a podcast, Las Culturistas, like the day I went to that show, and they were doing their iconic 400 people, and they talked about Tate McRae, and they were like, I have no idea what she looks like, because she's always like dancing, like turning her head. Can confirm, have been in the same room. You do not see her face. Like, she is like,
She's got the hair.
but she slayed. So
Yeah.
thank you, Troy. The TikTok girls were very appreciative.
Yeah. Thank you, Troy,
10,
for your music also.
We love you, Tate. You'll get an episode one day, okay? Hold your breath. Other concerts I've been to this month, I saw
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about
Match
it.
Your Freak Tour, Match My Freak Tour with Tinashe, Ravina opener. So gorgeous. Two artists who are better in the room than on the recording. Also, shout out Ravina for shouting out Palestine. Been to a lot of concerts since June and not heard that many people talk about that. So we really, really appreciate you, Ravina. Like, her last song is like the first song from her most recent album. It's called Rise. And it's like dedicated to Palestine. And she like ended with that. And that was so awesome. So thank you so much, Ravina. Tinashe, no words. The dancing, the singing, she's laid down boots. She is so talented. Love my girl Tinashe. She also needs some number ones. Put Nasty on the top of the Billboard charts, please. So, should we try a little recurring
Our
segment?
segments? Yeah. Like, what have you been listening to recently?
Yeah, do you have
If you like.
an artist you'd like to start us off with?
So last week, in preparation for Declan McKenna, I can't with you blowing your nose.
I'll just
Take your
leave.
time. Anyways, it looks like I'm having a conversation with the brat thing.
With the tote bag.
With the brat
She talks
tote.
back, okay? Sorry, you were saying.
No, but yeah, I was listening to a lot of Declan McKenna last week in preparation. Got really into What Happened to the Beach in a way that I hadn't before. I mean, I always loved it, but So that, and then this week, I've been back into my blonde shell kick. And just SZA always. And last night,
The best.
I listened to French Exit like 3 times in a row, front to back. TV girl. So, yeah, I've just been revisiting a lot of the... Nice, yeah. Well, we should definitely do a TV girl episode. I want to learn more about where all their samples come from exactly.
Right.
Because I think they come from some... At least from when I poked around on Genius. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but some of them are like really cool.
Mm.
Some of them
They
are
slay.
like President Nixon. That's not what
So
I meant by the
cool.
ones.
Oh
That's
my
not what I meant by
God.
the cool ones.
Ever heard of
Not what I
Watergate? He was so cool. I loved. Great hotel. Would stay again. Ever seen Forrest Gump? He was so good in that movie. He deserved the Oscar. Okay, no more Richard Nixon on the podcast
more.
ever again. Promise. The other person I want to talk about is Glorilla. Oh my God. I listened to her album all the way through. She is so talented. She's also 25. I was like, for sure she's at least 30. Not because of how she looks. Because she is like so secure in herself. And so confident. And it's just like, damn girl. Like, let her cook. Everyone go stream Let Her Cook right now. Like, that needs to be number 1. Yeah. I just love that girl. And the way she talks. I think my favorite thing about Glorilla is like her accent is like insane. And it's like every word she says, she's like chewing it. Oh my God. Yeah, which is interesting because I'm not like the biggest hip hop person, but if it's a girl, I usually like it.
You automatically like it way more.
I'm like, wait, no.
I think that's one of the biggest deterrents of you and Declan McKenna.
Yeah.
If he was
That's
a
so
girl,
fair.
maybe.
If he was like talking about men in his songs, maybe I could be
Right.
into. Like the only men I listen to is like Troye Sivan, Omar
Right.
Apollo, Frank Ocean, Tyler. Like they all like guys at least a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe if he starts talking about dick in his songs, he'll get some streams. His LA streams will go up monumentally, but but he has more important things to talk about.
I was about to say, he's already saying a lot in his music about imperialism.
Heard it all before. No, we
Yeah,
don't
he's-
stand imperialism. We don't stand
No.
Richard Nixon. We don't stand
Just to be
Watergate.
Yeah.
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 Was there anything else we need to let the kind people know?
We have so much to talk about. I'm
I
so
know.
excited.
Get ready for episode 100. Gonna be crazy. We should do the thing where like every 100 episodes we do something special.
Yeah, totally.
Stay tuned for 99
For episode
episodes from now. It's gonna be
101.
crazy. Y'all aren't even ready.
Yeah, we're thinking that far ahead. This is
Mm-hmm.
an Easter egg.
In the lover house. Which room is this in the lover house, everyone? I'm pointing to my room, listeners. And which is
OMG,
Cat's room in the lover house?
It's GS11 right here.
Wait, didn't we already get that? Midnights was 10. TTPD
Okay,
was
yeah.
11.
You're right.
Crazy.
You're right, I was wrong.
Ha 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 ha. That can be our audio clip.
Someone
You
get
were
that
right,
to
I
TV
was
girl
wrong.
right now.
Ha ha.
TV girl would love that. Oh my god.
We got this
TV
all
girl would
recorded.
eat that up.
They can even have the video clip. They can go crazy. Put that into the song. Okay, well, thanks everyone for listening to the
Thanks for
first
listening.
episode. If you made it this far, you get a special treat, which is my
In
personal phone
episode
number.
100.
Oh,
No, yeah. You get Cass's digits.
it's 424. That's the area code for losers in Los Angeles. So It's not
Whatever
mine.
that means.
Okay,
You can
loser.
try.
Yeah, we love you. We love you, losers. We'll see you in the second
No.
episode. Winners.
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 All
Okay.
right.
Ciao, beautiful
Tune in
people.
next time.
Adeu.
Adios. Besitos.
Betonets.